All right. Just wanted to catch everybody up, and I thought I'd make a video because a lot of neat things happen. As in my life, if you watch some of my videos, you always know that life presents problems that people call problems or issues. And I always tell people life presents you gifts. And so I always look for everything neat that happens from the occasion. So let me tell you about what happened and how I ended up in the emergency room at South Kaiser in Sacramento yesterday evening and up late that night, and the subsequent events that happened after and the things that happened before. It was a most interesting series of gifts. So let's start with the yesterday. Oh, a spoiler alert, I'm out of the hospital. I went in for breathing problems, and people say, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Well, it's just a breathing problem. I just couldn't breathe." Anyway, I'm okay. So let's start there, but let's go backwards. Yesterday, I did an interview with a lovely gentleman, a young man that's a coach and so much more, life coach, a real coach of sports, a real hero of mine locally. And it was real uplifting talk, and I was feeling great and wonderful. I've been fighting a cold for about 3 weeks. So I had a little, not much of a cough, just a hint of a cough, but I was good. There's that cough, sound like that. All right, so I finished that, and later on in the afternoon, I had this urging to call my friend, Maria, and it just felt like something wasn't right. So I called Maria, and she answers the phone, and she's wheezing. She could hardly cough. She can hardly breathe. It's labored. She's just really not doing well at all. Real respiratory issues, and I felt really like my heart was breaking for her. I really wanted to help her, and there was a love. She's my friend, and I felt really bad. I hung up the phone, and within 5 minutes, all of a sudden I'm coughing and coughing, and I'm having a harder time to breathe as the rest of the day went on. It reached a point where I started coughing. It was like a spasm. I coughed for over an hour, just boom, boom, nonstop. And I was just, I couldn't gasp, and I couldn't breathe. I had to suck air in. I was good, except I just couldn't breathe. It was beyond difficult. So I called the vice nurse, who gave me the doctor. And with my medical history, they don't even fool around. They say, "Come on in." So by the time I got in there, I was having a real hard time breathing when I called. And then I sat down before I went, and I practiced my love. I love me. I love me. And I just focused and focused. So my breathing went from labored and gasping to it got quiet, and I was following my breath, and it was almost like a meditation. So I got to the ER, and my main concern and reason I really went was not because it wasn't breathing. It was because I was concerned if I had an infectious disease. Did I have COVID, or did I have something that was going to affect someone else? Because with the holidays coming up, I was going to spend time with my family. And so that was my main concern. And so they agreed with me that it's good to check it out. So by the time I got in the ER, now the ER in Sacramento was overbooked. I mean, it was, there was no beds available or nothing else. And I was put in a hallway on a gurney eventually, but they took excellent care of me, checked out my heart, checked out my liver, checked out my lungs, checked out everything. At first they thought it might be a blood clot, the way it was acting and everything. But finally, after several hours, I was good to go. My breathing was restored. I was feeling good, and I left. Now my son-in-law and my daughter drove me there, and they were out waiting and everything for me. So I go back home, and I told them when I got in the car, "Well, I'll be home in bed before midnight." That was my prediction. My prediction when I went there. I got home, and when I got in bed, it was like 2 minutes to midnight. So that was true. So the next morning I wake up and I see a message from Maria, and so I told her the story. I said, you know, I was feeling so much love for you and everything, but 5 minutes after I hung up on you, I sounded like you. I couldn't breathe and all this stuff. I was so empathetic for you. It's almost like I took it on myself. And then she said something about, well, that's not crazy at all. You know, I actually improved a little and I had a good night's sleep. So it helped her for whatever it was. And then a little while later, I get a call from my daughter that her husband, my son-in-law, had lost his wallet with all his credit cards and his IDs and his shot records and all kinds of stuff in it in the parking lot of the ER someplace at the hospital that night. And that he went down at daybreak and he couldn't find it. And then he was at work and he doesn't have all his credit cards. And it was a real mess. And so she goes, Dad, do your magic, we got to find it. What? I said, okay. So I left my house. I drove there, and in my mind, I'm visualizing the wallet in my hand. I'm visualizing me giving it to my son-in-law, Mark, and all's good. So I get there, and I didn't know where he parked, what parking lot he was in. So I just kind of drove around. I asked a couple of security guards if anybody turned anything in. And while I'm kind of just there for a few minutes, I get a call from my daughter that one of the security people had actually found a wallet, and they were going to drive it to me where I was at and give it to me. And so I accomplished that. I left there. I was only there minutes. I drove to my son-in-law's school where he's a principal, handed him his wallet, so he had his driver's license, and I drove home. So it was one of those days where things, you know, a 24-hour period looked like they're all random. But think about this. My empathetic response to my friend, and I end up having what she has. And then with the wallet, I visualized the wallet and finding it and handing it to him. I didn't do any magic, nothing. I just visualized having it and returning it to him, and especially in gratitude for all that he did for me. And so that was my day yesterday. So basically, it was just a breathing problem. I couldn't breathe. Yeah, just the body. All right. But the gift was the love of my daughter and her husband taking me there and taking care of me. The love was knowing that my friend Maria was a little bit better and slept a night. And then visualizing and finding the wallet was just, that kind of topped off my 12-hour period. So in the life of Reverend Bill, that was like a typical day. And just thought I would share it to you. And there's probably 1,000 explanations that say it's all coincidental, but in my heart, it happened as it was supposed to happen. Just faith and love. And it was all about me loving myself and healing myself and bringing that the breath of life back. And so God bless, and I hope that this story inspires you. Bottom line, the healer is within. Bottom line, as you thinketh, so happens. So visualize good things happen in your life. God bless.